Join world-renowned psychic Tracey Lee as she chats candidly about life with the gift of being able to reach out and communicate with those who have crossed over to the other side. Okay, so we talked about a lot about your shows. Yep. So what I want to talk about now is how the format of your shows more. So we've talked about how you deal with the difficult tragedies and all that. But we do try, not that we try and make fun or anything, but it can be very dark.
You have to lighten it.
It can be a little bit heavy.
Yeah, you have to lighten it.
So you'll often find with Tracey with her shows, she'll say, for example, someone's got a partner that they've broken up with, and Tracey, whatever the thing is, and they're telling Tracey that this person's no good, and Tracey will go, oh my God, you need to put him in the freezer. Now, if you've got a room full of predominantly people that have not seen you, the look on their faces can sometimes be quite funny.
Because they think the body's in the freezer.
Yeah, they think that you deal with
knocking people off.
Yeah, to keep you... that would work because it would be like keeping you in business, then, wouldn't it?
Chuck it in the freezer, I'll speak to him next week.
Yes. I need the work. No, we shouldn't joke about that. So can you explain, when we talk about putting something in a freezer, when we talk about the meditation, we talk about writing letters, we talk about you give people some coping mechanisms, because sometimes, and we forget them 99% of the time, we've got to take tissues because it can get
emotional.
Right.
Yeah.
But your words of wisdom are put them in the freezer, all that sort of stuff. So let's talk about some of them. When you say to someone, put them in the freezer, what are you doing? What are we saying?
It's their energy. So what I believe is, and I'll give you an example after I tell everyone. So you get their name and Tracey, and I put them in a Ziploc bag, because otherwise I used to throw them in the freezer and I had bits of paper everywhere. So now I'm a little bit more organised, and I've got a little Ziploc bag. Yeah. And at one point, when the girls were at home, they would have their own Ziploc bag. We had a Ziploc bag each in the freezer. And I put the name in, and it's the intent. So for me, it's, it might be that I wish this person all the best, but I don't want them in my life, so I'll put them in the freezer. Or I love this person and I wish them the best, but I don't want to hear their shit anymore. Put them in the freezer. And
examples of that could be your mum or your dad or a sibling, someone that you really do love and really don't have any issues with, but they're bringing you down in life, so you just want to freeze that negative stuff out. It's all about getting rid of the negative. Yeah.
So I had an issue with a lady, and for a long time. And anyway, I put her name in the freezer, and my intent was, I wished her all the best. I just didn't want to see her, right? I just keep away from me. Go live your life, have the best life, but just, I don't want you part of my life. Hand on heart, 4 years, didn't see her. Nothing. And we were moving, freezer's turned off, the removalist truck pulls up, is in the driveway, loading the truck, and who pulls in behind the removalist truck? This woman. And I seen a number plate, and I went, and because I'm not very
subtle.
No, not very subtle. And I actually said to her, you have to leave. Not like that. And the truck driver says to me, we don't like her, do we? I went, absolutely not. And I don't want any harm to come to her, because I believe whatever you put out, you get back. So if I wish her harm, I'm going to get that back tenfold. I just want her to have the best life, live her best life, but just not with me in it. It's a choice. It's a choice I've made for lots of reasons. And the same with, when you have people that just, you might have that one friend or a brother or a sister that constantly talks crap, whether it's...
The glass is always half empty. Half empty, yeah.
Never, ever anything positive. Never, it's a beautiful day today. Yeah. It's going to rain this afternoon.
Yeah.
I don't want that in my life, so I'll put that in, and I'll say I love them, I want them to be a part of my life, but I don't want to hear their crap.
Yeah.
I just want to hear, and I know we all have moments of negativity, absolutely, but I'm talking about the person that's 90% negative, not the person that's 10% negative. It's just that 90.
No, I get it.
So I believe that that's about energy, and I'm a big believer in energy and the energy flow, like, my sprays that I do. So I do a spray for negative energy, I do a spray to restore your energy, and I do a spray that I call my happy juju, which
joy. I call it joy. You say juju.
I say juju.
It's bad juju, happy joy. But you market your stuff how you want to market.
Yeah, happy juju.
Okay, juju. Okay.
So when I was selling my house, for instance, I got the happy juju, and we sprayed the whole house with it, and it's sold in 2 hours.
What else? But another thing you tell people too, if they're selling a house or something, you say write the figure down that you like, and you freeze that too.
So when I get the photo of the house, I put sold in big bold letters, sold. And the real estates these days go, it's worth between 1 million and 1.2. They never say, back in the day, it would say
exact amount.
Never say that. Now it's all this in between shit. So when I got my house value, the real estate bloke comes around, Trace, it's only worth, I'm just going to use the figure $1 million. He says, it wasn't. It's only worth $1 million. And I went, no way. I said, the house behind me sold for $1 million. No, that's wrong. He said, the house behind you just sold for that amount of money. Your house is in a worse position. It's not as, not that it wasn't as nice, that it wasn't set out as well as theirs, and it was a different layout. They had more land, blah, blah, blah. I said, I don't care. I want the $1 million. He goes, well, they only got 800. I want $1 million. Was it that? Whatever. Anyway, it came to the selling of the house, and he said, well, I'm going to go lower end. So he put what they got for theirs, and then he said what I wanted, that in between thing. And I went, I'm getting what I want. So I put what I wanted for it, and he rings me up in 2 hours. He goes, you are joking. He goes, what did you do? What did you do? And I told him, and he goes, what a load of crap that is. I said, well, what's the offer? I was $5,000 short. But we're talking about a market that was very, there was a lot of competition, and it was, and he said, I cannot believe you've got that. And I know now that if I sold that house today, it would be probably 100,000 less than what I got for it. Because the market had changed.
Shifting.
So he said to me, he goes, what did you do? I said, I'm not telling you, because you'll give it to all the other people that want houses, and I may want one of their houses, and I don't want to pay that.
But it's just so people know, it's not a guaranteed thing. But what Tracey, I think, is saying is that you've got to put it out there. You've got to put the positive stuff out there. You've got to try and get rid of the negative, and you're in control of that.
100%.
So, and these are just some of the things you suggest. So I know something that you said when I first started going to your shows, you said write a letter and then burn it. And so I did that. I was going through a very, difficult time. But the first time I wrote the letter, because the way my brain works, I'm OCD and grammar. So I said it, wrote the letter, and I reread over, and I've changed, I've added bits and all that. And then I've got the bowl out and I've burnt it. And it's like, I was almost embarrassed. I'm like, there's a freaking hidden camera here. I'm sure she's pissing herself laughing at me. Look at this idiot burning a letter. So I let it go for a while, and the next time I did it, I sat out in a dark room, or I was actually outside, and no light. I couldn't see my page. I just let my pen write. Right. I didn't look at the page. I just had all the thoughts, and I spewed everything, every swear word, every emotion, everything I could think of. And I had about 15 pages. And I didn't look at it once. I didn't even look at it when I'd finished. I didn't go and sit in the light. And then I was actually a little fire pit. And when I'd finished everything, I sat there and I tore each page and I scratched it up and burnt it. And the difference between doing it that way, I didn't think about that. I didn't obsess over what I'd written.
You just do it.
I just did it. And
I've
probably done it once every 18 months. Since and it's the best for me. I find that better 100%. Than the freezer stuff.
Well, both. So I did the same thing. I got my letter, and I love calligraphy, so I'm doing my letter, and I'm in bed. What are you looking at me like that for?
Why would you even do calligraphy?
Because I like it. Anyway, the first 3 pages were beautiful, and I'm thinking, oh, look at this. And then by the 8th page, I can't even read my writing. It's like, what the freaking hell have I written? And I let it go. And then I didn't have a fire pit. And the mistake I made was it was winter, and it was about 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, and I got my fruit bowl, I emptied it out, and I went outside with a bottle of wine. And I don't drink wine, right? And it wasn't sparkly wine either, it was that flat crap.
Oh my God.
I drank the whole bottle while I was burning it. I was so drunk. The next day I thought, oh my God, what have I done?
No.
Because I don't drink.
Yeah, no, you don't do it.
So you don't mix your spirits. You don't mix your spirits.
Oh my God.
That's true though.
Yeah, I know.
I don't drink.
Yeah.
I do drink. That's not right.
Actually, the reason, tell people why you don't drink though.
I don't drink because I have no control of what I say. And what will happen is I'll be out. Like when I first started on this journey, oh my God, I remember I was at the club with my girlfriends, and it was like some sort of reunion thing. And we're all throwing down drinks like you do with those sort of things. And I went into the toilet and I just made this beeline for this girl. And I go, you've just got to leave him. He's no good for you. And I said, and you know he's cheating. You've just got to go. They're telling me you've got to leave him. And she's going, and it's not funny because you have to have permission to give readings, right? But it was they were talking amongst themselves, and I'll just come in like a bull in a china shop and giving her this reading. And I said, but the new one's not far and he's better. And I'm doing this to this girl. They came up to me after it and they said, oh, thank you so much. Well, you seen it the other week when we were out. Where were we at? Darling Harbour, when we went on that boat cruise.
Was a while.
When we went out did the lights. It wasn't that long ago.
Who did you see then?
The girl that came up to us on the
the hens
light.
Oh my God, they
were all over me.
They were. I thought you actually knew them when they came out of the bathroom, because this girl was like right up intimate with you, and I thought I must be like a lady, a friend of yours daughter or something. And she was loving it,
obsessive.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
It was a little bit, but she recognised me from somewhere, obviously, and then of course I'd been drinking, so I just go, bleh, which I shouldn't do. But she asked for permission.
I haven't been able to get you drunk enough to do that.
I don't drink very often because of that. You can't mix your spirits.
But anyway, so going back to the letter, the idea is you burn it.
Yeah, let it go.
Let the universe take care of it. And I like that. So we freeze it, we run it. You talk about meditation.
I believe
you like your meditation.
I love meditation because meditation is about grounding. I think we live such busy lives, everyone, for different reasons. There's a lot more expectation on people these days than say 30 years ago, 40 years ago. And the mobile phone. So we never stop. We never switch off. We've always got a device. We've always got something.
Yeah.
And I believe that meditation is the one thing, people say, I'm too busy. They're the people that should meditate. They're the people that should just ground themselves and go, okay, I need that 10 minutes. It could be 20 minutes. I find the best meditations are when you go, like I often, when I'm up the coast, will go and sit on the beach and meditate. And I remember last time I was up there meditating, and I came out of it and I'd been there for 40 minutes and I didn't even know. But what I had done was, because I'm a fidgeter, I had actually put a big circle around me. And I'd been playing with the sand and just pushing the sand, doing this.
Not the Star of David or anything like that, and just circle. You went...
Yeah, I was like...
Okay.
I put salt to keep evil people out, which is you. So I've done this... Shut up! I'm doing that, and when I come out, I thought, freaking hell, I've dug a trench. It was like a moat. I was in an island. It wasn't all the way around. But, I believe that we need to ground. I believe that the busiest people should have that time to ground, and you actually get a lot of clarity through your meditation because you'll get responses.
I just fall asleep and snore, so it doesn't...
I know, we did meditation. We go to the gym.
It's so
we go
funny.
to this gym, right? And it's called Mind Body Flow, where you do weights and you do yoga, and at the end you do meditation.
Yeah, so
and after the meditation,
all
I hear is...
I was not. You're full of it. You are so full of it.
And I sat up, and there was a couple of us, we sat up, because like, what's that?
I was not.
You were.
She
was snoring. It was awesome. I'm going, where's my phone? And because the lady who doesn't want to let me take my phone because I wanted to tape her, I wasn't allowed. But you were.
Because it must have been I needed to relax, didn't I? If that's the case.
Obviously, you were snoring.
I wasn't snoring.
How would you know?
So what else? What other coping mechanisms? I know, because I was there. What other coping mechanisms do we have for our audience? You do, okay, so you do have some stuff that you sprays. You talked about your sprays. So we talk about getting rid of the negative energies.
I truly believe that my sprays, and you can use sage and all the rest of it, but I'm not saying it cures cancer. I'm not stupid. But because I work so much with energy, and it is a transfer of energy when I'm reading people. Some people that come in here aren't in a great place, and their negativity and their darkness can be overwhelming. So I don't have time to burn the sage. That's why I designed this spray, and I'll spray. So I'll often spray the house every afternoon with the negativity spray, so that whoever's been in here, they take their energy with them, which is, I'm a big believer of that. And of a morning, first thing, I'll spray the happy juju, because I lift the energy in the house. So the energy's got a good vibrant energy. And my other one with the amethyst crystals, and they're all infused with crystals, because I believe, again, it doesn't cure cancer, but it does help. I've got a restore one that I spray on my pillow and on my bed, and it helps me sleep. And I've got people from everywhere that will just buy that just because they can't sleep, or they can't sleep without it. So it does work. It's such a, whether it's the placebo, I don't know, but it works. It works for me. And sometimes, really sometimes, I have to spray people. Where is my spray?
I hate it when she asks me to spray at the shows, because I just worry I'm going to get someone in the eye or something, and it's
like spray around, not at them.
Oh yeah, but it's just, I don't know, because then people go, I want to smell it, and it's like I don't know how close I've got to get, and it can be a little bit awkward sometimes.
Well, sometimes you need to spray the before the show, because you can feel when they walk in the energy, especially if they've had like a tragic passing. You can feel that they're so desperate to hear from someone that their energy can be really low, and that's what I want to get rid of. I want to get rid of that low energy. I want to lift it. I want it to be vibrant. I want it lifted. So
and that's the other thing that happens at the shows too. You often say, we'll be off to a good start, and then all of a sudden you'll get that one suicide or one tragic,
and then the door
opens.
Then
that's pretty much all that comes through for the rest of the night. So it can get really dark really quickly, can't it?
Absolutely. And you know, that one at Bathurst that we touched on in an earlier episode, where she had 3 stabbings in one night. Like there were her twin sisters, the twins, it was 4. The twins, older sister and a friend got stabbed by that man that was stalking them. And I mean, people can Google that. It was in the 80s, late 80s in New South Wales, and just horrendous. And for me, what I seen, I was looking at her, and I remember looking at her in the show, and I kept looking at her, and all I could see was blood, like this ocean of blood around her. I remember I said to her, oh my God, there's so much blood around you.
So what does that look like? When you're looking at her, is she on her chair in the room with blood around her? Or is it like she's taken out of it's out of the situation, like you're watching, like...
It was just her sitting there, and it was like, you know the movie Carrie?
No, I don't watch that stuff because it scares the crap out of me.
Do you know that movie Carrie? I'm talking to Jess again behind the camera.
No.
So Carrie is about a young girl that's the psychic, and she's traumatized, and in one scene in Carrie they pour pig blood all over her, and she's standing there and she's got all this blood dripping over her. It was like seeing that. It was like she was sitting there, but there was this massive blood all around her. But I knew that it was more than one person because of the amount of blood, and because their death was so tragic. Like, it was a stalker that she'd broken up with them. He laid in wait with a gun and knife, and you know, he got the 4 of them in the afternoon. And it was like, this was all all the domestic violence that we all know about now. But that was, and for me, I could just see her, and it was like she was sitting in this pool of blood. And I remember looking at her, and I kept looking away because I knew that once I opened that door, that was going to be a heavy one. So I was trying to be, not that I ever did not give a message, but I have to deal with it a little bit first before I deliver it.
That's right.
And I've got to know where the boundaries are, so to speak. So that's what I was waiting for. So that was that was pretty hard, that one. That was
again, I don't know how you can look at that and then be normal afterwards. But anyway,
not normal.
Do you get smell? Like, can you smell? 100%. Could you smell stuff as well? Like, that would be like, I don't know.
Not all the time, but that's part of it, you know. the smelling, that, you know, sometimes it'll be like, you know, ladies that have that old perfume, whether it's that sweet pea crap or whatever. Talcum powder.
There is nothing wrong with sweet pea or talcum powder.
No. But you know that back in the day there was that like 4-7-11 or whatever it was.
I don't even know, because you're so much older than me. I have no idea what you're talking about.
4-7-11 smelt like the Kentucky Fried Washers, and it was a perfume.
Right.
You know, the Kentucky Fried...
Not Femme Fresh.
No!
Just
go too far.
Just ask.
One person has to go too far. 4-7-11.
Well, okay, I don't know it. I don't know it.
Well, I'm gonna find a bottle and buy it for you. It's like fly spray.
Yep.
But back then it was very, you know, it was very popular. No offense to anyone's parents who wore 4-7-11.
Anyway, all right. So I think we've covered that. We've covered a lot about the shows.
The shows are good because you just never know what you're getting. No. You know, it's just this open slather of, you know, and we talk about the energy and how to help people with energy and you know, I love it when I get people, like I had 2 people at Tamworth last week, and they come up to me and they go, excuse me, because I always speak to everyone on the way out, don't I? I never ever not speak to anyone. And because I think and I don't read, but I will,
No, you try not to read it. It does get very hard, especially the ones that like to wait till the leave the room till last.
Yeah, you know what they're doing.
That's when I've got to go from roadie to door bitch and go, no, sorry.
Yeah, because it's exhausting. Yeah, it's exhausting. Yeah. And they came up to me and they go, oh, excuse me. And they bought their tickets. You know, normally people that know I'm coming will buy their tickets. And I limit shows, so they buy their tickets in advance. And he bought them at the end, and because I made a mistake with my allocation. Anyway, besides the point. And they come up to me at the end, they go, we came here just to see how much of full of crap in this scammer you were. And I start laughing, right? Because I'm like, yeah, how'd you go with that? They go, oh my God, you've converted us. We're a full believer now. And I should have filmed them, but I just didn't get a chance because I had a lady telling me her life story. Nothing wrong with that either, no. But, you know, and she goes, I just cannot believe you got, you know, you got names, you got descriptions, you got this, you got that. You can't possibly make that up. She said, I'm flabbergasted. I'm just all in awe. And I just said to her, my parting words were, not everyone's like me.
No.
Because there are people out there that aren't.
So my favourite parts of your show, we've got to wrap it up. My favourite parts when you're on fire is when you start describing people's places. I'm walking in their house, I've got this and people can't even keep up with you walking through their house. They've got to think, no, that's not my house, that's my sister's house. And you've got 3 steps up here, you've got a veranda here. And it's like, I love it when they just, because, so my advice, like what I would really like to drive home to people that are thinking about going to a show or whatever, is just own it and enjoy it. Like I said, I know you're there to try and reach out to loved ones that have passed. It's a little bit of a somber sort of thing to think about. But at the same time, your best shows are when you've got a responsive audience. Yeah. They can have a little bit of a laugh. They can have a little bit of a sort of, you know, reminisce and they can give that validation. That makes for the best shows.
100%.
Because we know straight away, as soon as we leave that room, we know if it's been a good one or not. And 99% of them, I think, are.
Yeah, we have some hard ones. We have some difficult ones. I love the ones where I walk in and, you know, I did this at Goulburn and I walked past this girl and I turned back and I went, oh, congratulations, you're pregnant. And she went, and her mum goes, ah! And then she goes, I went, oh, Jesus Christ. I said, right. She goes, I am pregnant, but I haven't told anyone. And I've gone, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. It's not my job to take away their joy.
It's not.
Or deliver that message.
So you'd think you'd stop doing that in public, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but I don't.
Pull them aside and go, you don't?
No, because someone's telling me and I've gone bang, bang. Like I said, that can do it. I just go, okay. And it was her grandmother. It wasn't my fault. It was her grandmother who was so excited because she was...
See, and that's not fair because you're actually blaming it on the dead person that
absolutely,
can't defend
not my
themselves.
fault.
Okay.
And who's going to question that?
Yeah, no, you're right.
No one. So I'm a win-win.
I'm not hearing the voices in my head, am I? So,
no, it could be. Just not for the same reason.
Yeah, not those voices anyway.
Psycho.
Anyway, all right. Well, thank you. I think that wraps it up. I'm talking about your shows. Is there nothing else you want to share now? I think we've covered it.
I just think, come along, have some fun with us.
We can be good fun. Have some fun.
We do have some fun. You've got to have fun with it. I know, yes, there is a seriousness to it, but you've also got to smile.
Yeah.
And I'm not one of those doom and gloom psychics, am I?
No, you're a sledgehammer, pretty much.
Not all the time.
No.
Sometimes.
That's good fun.
Thank you.
All
See you
right.
next time.
See ya.